54 years ago today, an atomic bomb exploded over Nagasaki, Japan. It was the second A-bomb that the U.S. dropped on Japan, and it was the clincher. A few days later, Japanese leaders surrendered and World War II was over. Today, at Los Alamos, where those first A-bombs were created, anti-nuclear protesters staged a major demonstration.
In 1945, Major General Leslie Groves went to New York to meet with some top PR people to figure out how they would spin the atom. They suggested bringing in William O. Lawrence, the New York Times reporter, and he would shape how the world would see and understand the dropping of that bomb. Actually, there was another reporter who was there before he was. His name was Wilfred Burchett, and he knocked out his story as he looked around him at the rubble and saw people's shadows that were burned into the walls of buildings. And he wrote on his Hermes typewriter in the rubble, "I write this as a warning to the world." Contrast that with William O. Lawrence's piece after the dropping of the bomb, which said, headline, "No radiation sickness found at Hiroshima." Perhaps these labs' greatest weapon is secrecy. And that is what we have to challenge. And that is what the media must penetrate. But who is the media that is covering the manufacturing of bombs? It is the bomb makers themselves. CBS, which is owned by Westinghouse, which runs WIP, the Waste Isolation Pilot Project, where military nuclear waste is just being brought. And what about NBC, owned by General Electric, makers of most of the parts of most of the nuclear weapons, the weapons that were used in Iraq, most of the weapons that were used in Yugoslavia, and then you wonder why what we see on television when there are wars are military hardware shows. In fact, they are selling us their weapons, and we have to challenge that. We must not allow voices to be silenced as they were in front of the Bradbury Museum of Los Alamos National Laboratories, where local activists went to put out information on the weapons of mass destruction that are produced here. They were arrested simply for leafleting. We must put an end to this silence.